Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the show. Hope that you guys doing well because they're having a wonderful 19th of October. This is the most productive day that we had in a while, and we got 2 videos left. So the first video is Chucky season 1 because yes, I watched the whole season in one day. So it's a long video, so I'm not gonna do the classic how you guys doing, although I'm gonna ask you how you doing nonetheless. And it's a long video, so let's get right into it. So let's check it season 1, right? Got episode number 1. We got Quiet Town where we meet Chuck, right? What I love about the show is one of the first characters introduced is Chuck. So we get him into a garage sale and like, holy shit, this is a good guy doll. We don't know if it's Chucky or not. There's a hint though. He's next to knife, and because he's next to knife, then takes a knife and oh, this is Chucky, right? This is pretty much the only in that we have, but it's enough. We have the town where he was from in the beginning, right? We even hear about his family murder. It's kind of cool because this all happened in the first 10 minutes of the show. So they don't lose time with intro. Okay, so this season 1, right? Which is a cool season. I have to do a season 1 after that to recap. But the biggest problem with the season 1 is if it wasn't for the other Chucky movie, nobody would know the fuck is going on, right? We have the main character, which is Jake, who listened to the podcast show Killer, which is talking about Charles Lee Ray, which is the real name of Chucky. I have to point out, sadly, I have to point out a mistake, right? So in the movie, we learned that he had a loving family, he had a loving father, loving mother, which is not true. If you're a fan of the Chucky series like I am, you know that in Child Play 2 we learn of Chucky parents, how his mother was a alcoholic, a little person. And why is that so important? Why is that so important that that his mom is a little person? Because it has the fact that him being in the body of a doll is kind of ironic. His father wasn't around, but he has 2 parents that love him. No, it wasn't like that. I'm sorry. It's not true. I have to be the asshole to say that's not true. Right? It was revealed. Yeah, exactly. Like, it was a little person. I took some notes because I saw that on Monday. His father abandoned them when she told him she was pregnant. Yeah, exactly. The town, so that's done. The town being called Ack and Slash is the Ack and Slash, or the slasher of the 80s, which is kind of like a cool, somewhat of a cool nod to the genre, somewhat of a cool nod to the to where we are, because Chucky is a slasher. He is part of the elite. He's part alongside Freddy, alongside Jason, alongside Helpin, alongside Pennywise, alongside Leatherface, alongside Michael Myers, alongside Jason Voorhees. Should I continue? Because I can continue. We have we have the father and son with Jake, and it's kind of nuts because like right away you can see that they're different, and I get the fact that the season 1 also, what am I complaining about the season 1 of Chucky? Did I like it? Yes. But what I complain is that it's kids. It's very weird. It's not like teenager discover who they are. It's pre-teenager, so we're talking about 12, 13 years old. And there's a conversation about alcohol, about sex, about sexuality. It's a bit weird, you know? I'm not judging, but when I was 13, I was watching Jersey Shore, which was, okay, well, it was also about sex, drugs, and alcohol. But they were douchebags. I didn't aspire to be them. However, I can see somebody being aspiring to be a part of the Chucky universe. Because Chucky is awesome. And I'm going to say right away, as a spoiler, this season 1 MVP is, drumroll please, that's it? Okay. Chucky in itself. So we got more. We have the Jake is an artist. His father is an artist. The father character is more so we're broke. We're not doing so well, and you're. I kind of understand the father, and that's the old Ink talking. The 31-year-old Ink, where life is so important. Ink talking. So the father, they're broke. The family, the whole family is broke. However, the son is living in a dream where he can be an artist, and I'm like, dude, it's not gonna work. we need you. We need you to work, so we're good. Otherwise, we're not gonna make it, right? The father gets drunk, right? Because he's broke. They show the sculpture of the son, and the son is kind of cool because the son does this sculpture based on dolls' parts, limbs, head, arms, legs, which is kind of cool because the movie's this is a series about a doll called Chucky. So it does make sense. It is kind of like almost a team, right? So we have Jake. He brings Chucky to school, right? He gets bullied, and it's weird because in the very first episode we have a lot of music, right? We have a lot of music, and I wrote down notes as I was watching the show, and then you understand that the show is about teenager, but still there's a lot of music and like, dude, this is not gory. The season one was good, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. It feels more like a teen drama. It feels more like something cool, banking on the success of Chucky. That's how I feel. It was good though. I did like it. I would watch season 2 for sure, but I've had stronger season 1. Sorry. So we have the load of music, not very Chucky. We had a crush. Jake had a crush on a dude with a podcast, and the kind of cool thing is, this is actually a really cool thing. I absolutely love the character of Devon. Devon character is, and it's a really well written character. Character of Jake's a bit weak. Main character is a bit not necessarily boring, but it's a bit weak. Devon, however, is super cool. Devon is a huge fan of scary things. He's a huge fan of serial killer. Now, why is that a cool thing? Well, because his mom is a police officer, so maybe out of respect for his mom, he has an interest in crime, but because he has an interest in horror, the perfect mix between crime and horror is possibly She'll Killer, and like a slash as Chucky, and the whole show is about Chucky. So Devon plays almost a bigger role than Jake. Then you realize that Jake has to play that role because Jake has the role of the guy who is vulnerable and being manipulated or influenced by Chucky. So we have the podcast. We have the cousin of Jake who is homophobic, and it's kind of crazy because Junior, which is the cousin here, is another character. They didn't do him justice. This guy's kind of an asshole. He's kind of like a douche. But on the other hand, he cares about his cousin, which is really sweet. So he's bullying his cousin, first of all. Second of all, he's like, oh, don't bully that guy, okay? I'm allowed because he's my cousin, which is sweet. But then again, he bullied him a lot in the beginning, then in the middle, nothing, and then the end, a lot. So it's just weird. It's a weird characters. I'm tired, that's why my content is going to be as good. I'm sorry. I could have done tomorrow, but I finished Monday, and I've been putting this past. We'll do it tomorrow, right? So we have it's kind of sad because they have the people are cool that know that Jakey, which is Jake, I call him Jakey because Jakey, right, is broke, and that's why that show was to me not as interesting, because to bully Jake, they create a fundraiser, they create a Kickstarter, give to Jake. I'm like, that's how you bully people? The fuck? I know I'm old, but not that old. Come on. And it's not only that, it's weird because I'm old, so I'm old school. But Chucky is older than me. The character of Chucky is older than me. The actor Brad Dourif, the original Chucky, is like 75, 80 years old, which is crazy. Brad Mancino, which is the director of Chucky, is in his early 60s. Fiona Dourif, which is the daughter of Brad Dourif, the original Chucky. So if you know Chucky from the Cult of Chucky and the Curse of Chucky, is pretty old, late 30s. I'm like, dude, and that's a weird thing. It's a very childish show, and I mean this in positive. It's very teenagey, but at the same time, like, this is a killer. This is Chucky. You're trying to please everybody, but you're not pleasing anyone. The show get better after episode 1. Not great. After episode number 4 or 5, very, very good. We got Chucky. We have this, and it's kind of cool because we have this scene, and Jakey, and it is nice because they do show the difference between Jake and Chucky. Jake, there's a frog in front of them, and they have to dissect the frog. The first thing they do is Jake's like, I cannot dissect it. I'm scared. I'm not comfortable. You got Chucky who dissected perfectly, which again is to showcase that Chucky is very handy with a knife. Well, that he dissect people before could make a lot of sense too. But it's mainly to say, oh, Chucky's different than Jake, right? Bullying during a fundraiser, yes. Buyer called for exactly. There's Jake received a call, right? And looking for the main. Buyer called for the doll. Wait, what? Okay, buyer called for the doll. Okay, and then we don't know who it is. That's actually really well made. We later learned that it's Andy Barkley, which if you know Child Play, Andy Barkley was the main character in Child Play, and he's grown up. And the craziest thing about Andy Barkley is the actor that plays Andy stood away from Seed of Chucky and Bite of Chucky, but when Curse of Chucky came around, he was involved in it, which was cool because it's the original character too. So the buyer's call for the doll is like he thinks that it might be Chucky, and he tells Jake, "Dude, check out for batteries." So it's like, holy shit! And then Jake he researched the doll, and I gotta say that this is kind of cool because of. It's kind of cool because we're in an age where everything is Googleable. So the fact that there's this article on Andy Barkley is kind of cool. They take advantage of the fact that we're in a modern era. Main kid is curious, finds talent show. Cool. We have a talent show, and it's kind of weird because again, it's a teen. It's very Do we do the hair or not? It's if you know the show Wednesday, it's kind of similar. So it's very like the reason why I didn't like well, I could have liked it more is it's more about the school student than Chucky. So you're making a whole season where Chucky's once again the bad guy. I'm down for it, but you barely talk about Chucky. Chucky, there's maybe 10, 15 minutes of the episode, each episode that he's there. Also, the Chucky doll is not great. You can see it having problem moving. You can see that it's not a good doll. You're seeing the remake that was made in 2019. The doll was perfect. We had a talent show with Jackie being bullied once again. And then what he decides to do, which is kind of crazy cool, is he brings Chucky on the air and he acts a ventriloquist. And Jake is not able to say fuck you to everybody else, but Chucky is able, which goes well. We have Chucky defend him. Chucky, he whispered to Jake to go in front of the class. He humiliates the bully, right? He goes back home, and then his father's like, "What the fuck did you do?" Now the bullies are gonna go after you. And Jake tells them, "You're not sad that I get bullied. You said that I'm gay," which is a confirmation that he's gay. Which is the fight with Chucky. Chucky kills that, right? Which is the first killing. It's technically the second killing because he did kill the cat. And we had the first convo between Jake and Chucky. And I gotta say, dude, the conversation between Chucky and Jake are the only reason why I finished the show. Because that's the first episode I wasn't down to continue. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drink some water because my throat is parched. Episode 2, baby. We got the fact that Jake dad dies. He's being the prime suspect, of course, but like no. Jake is a good kid. He didn't do that. He moved to his uncle. Now the really cool thing they did is they introduced the uncle in a family meeting. Yeah, in the first episode. So you kind of know the uncle. You kind of know that the uncle is nicer. You kind of know that the aunt is nice. The cousin that bullies Jake is the cousin that live with him. So that's the only problem. But they live together. We have the convo between him and Chucky. He even mentioned his kid. Chucky, if you guys didn't know, has a kid. And that kid is gay and non-binary. So the cool thing is, that's kind of like an excuse to say, oh yeah, Chucky was pro-gay for a while. My problem with that is... And again, I'm not sure, right? My perception is... They kind of wanted to create a character that was the most... It was the most against Chucky. So Chucky is a killer, he swears. And his kid just happened not to swear and just happened to not be a killer. Be pretty soft. So I think the original idea of Potato Chucky we don't care that he's gay. It's not a big deal. And by the way, he said he's queer, not gay. It's not a big deal. But it's more so as to a difference in the generation. And I think that's what they were doing. I don't think they were trying to make a statement of, oh, we're pro LGBTQ, we're allies. The fact that they use that like this, I'm like, okay, maybe. But then again, I didn't feel that way when I see the Chucky. The parents are worried because Jake is going through shit. Of course, he just lost his father and getting bullied. And my problem with the show is they're pretty knowledgeable that he's getting bullied. They're pretty knowledgeable. And when then Junior gets bullied, everybody goes through shit. Everybody goes to war. But when Jake is getting bullied, you're like, And what my problem with the show is we don't mention for how long Jake was being bullied. Was it something new? Was it something recent? We don't know. The kid have parents going through shit. It's hard to understand where Jake is coming from. It's hard to understand what he's thinking. People, they love Chucky, and it's kind of cool because I grew up listening to Chucky and I grew up listening to Eminem, and I've always been with the characters of Eminem, Slim Shady, and now people wanted more Slim Shady. So Jake is getting less bullied than he's getting in the first episode, but they all want Chucky. It's like, yo, Chucky was so cool, bro. When are you bringing back to school? At this point, we know that Chucky killed the father. We know that Chucky is a killer, and you're like, you don't like me? Why are you talking to me? Sorry, we lost the I was listening to something in the background, but I couldn't listen because it dropped. So we have the they want Chucky. They don't want Jake anymore. I was gonna sing Eminem, but this video is long enough without me singing Eminem. Okay, you want me singing Eminem? They want nobody wants to see Marshall more. They want Shady, I'm Shop Liver. A little bit of me. To the top, man. I don't remember what the song is. It's a really good song though. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. That's why I'm unfocused. We see more than Jake. We take a loser. We see Lexi. She's a bully. And we kind of Lexi's one of the best written characters. So the show is not so much about Jake. It's not so much about Chucky. It's about Jake, Devon, and Lex, who are the three people. And Lex, she's a bully, so she's not supposed to be the good guy. But we see why she is the way she is. Her parents don't care about her. She has a sister who might be autistic. It's not precise in the show. And then they don't give a shit about Lex. And the mom, she's really rude. The mom of Lexi is a monster. She's a bitch. And this is really why Lexi is the way she is. So you can kind of forgive her, right? Which is cool. We love Chucky more than Jake because the parents focus on Devon. So we have a conversation between Devon and his mom, and there's instance of Devon who might be gay. Then it's confirmed that he's gay, and Jake and Devon ends up in a couple, which is good because they loved each other. It's just that I don't know the chemistry between them. I feel like it's a weird thing. At times it's really well done. At times you really believe it, and at times they're like homies. And I don't have a lot of friends that are gay, much less friends that are in a relationship with another dudes. I don't know if most gay couples are like that. Like, oh, when it's time to be lovey-dovey, we're lovey-dovey, but we're still boys. So, but again, they're young, you know. Why am I talking about that? Because it is one of the only, if not the only, like loving relationship in Chucky, and the season 1 is suffering from that. There's lack of characters. When you look at the characters, there's Junior parents, there's Junior, there's Jake, there's Devon, there's Lexi, there's Chucky. Most of the characters, the teacher's pretty cool too. Most of the characters are red cap, they don't matter. Which sucks. We have Oliver, who's another bully, but Oliver get killed in episode number 2. Oops, spoiler. So there's like no. The show's a mess. I did like it, but it's not perfect. And that's my problem with the first season. If Chucky wasn't involved, I would have not liked it. I felt old watching this. Okay. Devon. We have the Devon mom, she's a cop, and she's interrogating. But Dev, you know what? It's kind of cool because Dev is Dev is used to his mom being in a interrogation, so a cop, so it's not really bothering him. But if she did, it's like, oh, yo, Jake, how is he doing? She's wondering a lot about Jake, right? And it's kind of nice in a way, but it's kind of not nice in a way, in another way, because Jake's once again a kid, right? And yes, his father dies, but his father was a drunk, and everybody said it was a drunk accident. So it's nice that she thinks that Jake might be involved, but they don't show why she thinks that Jake might be involved. You understand? So in the beginning of the episode, we have the Halloween. There's a party, right? Chucky is being cool. Chucky is being very cool, and he gives away apple. The reason why he gives away apple is because you saw it in the first part of the show, the intro. Somebody gave an apple with a razor, and Chucky thought it was funny, so they did it again. We had a party, right? And we have Lexi, this guy that's Jake's father. Once again, we don't really know why Lexi she's bullying Jake. And you can say, yeah, but Jake just did eventually look his shit on her. So we get it, right? But do we really get it or not? Exactly. Cool. She decided his father to bully him. And that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. And at the end of that episode, he's like to Jake, yo, you know she needs to die. And we see Jake thinking about the idea of killing. And it's a really sweet moment because you're seeing reason. You see Jake as this kid who's really weak. This kid who's getting bullied. This kid who doesn't know how to defend himself. This kid who's constantly victim, right? And just to push him in a dark place. So every little thing that you said, oh, yo, again. And they're constantly victimizing Jake, but it has a payoff, which is really cool. So number 3, we see Chucky first kill, right? It's fake. It's not true. The first kill with his mom was strangulation. So what happened is, Chucky's father left the mom. The mom was drinking, and she was constantly nagging at Chucky until Chucky he couldn't handle anymore, and he strangled her. So the first victim was the mom. He kills her. So what happened is there's another killer who kills people, and he's about to kill the mom. And Chucky kills the mom, and it's like, yo, I help. And the killer's like, okay, well, you got guts, I'll give you that. You're alive. Which is weird, but at the same time, kind of cool. Because they did respect that, right? Association for the parents. We have the parents of Jake and Lizzie. Because Lizzie, she's bullying Jake. But then you could say the same thing about Lizzie. So what happened is there's a lot more instances of Lizzie bullying Jake. There's a lot more. However, the one time that Jake does bully Lexi, it's not him, it's Chucky. It's in front of the whole school. So it's like, okay, well, Lexi just pranks. Jake actually went for her. We have an associate for the parents. Okay, perfect. It leads nowhere though. So it's kind of cool, but it's like, okay, well, you didn't have to do that. We got Chucky that's training Jake to be a killer, how to use a knife, the weapon that you want to use, how you want to use it, right? Which feels, it does feel weird though, because you know that Chucky had a mentor, but you don't know how much that mentor did for Chucky. So Chucky being that, and it's also weird because Chucky's a psychopath. Chucky would have been able to be a father to his son or daughter. I don't remember. But he wasn't, and he's not here also. Which leads nowhere. Chuck training, cool. And his version kind of cool. Which is kind of cool. If he does train Jake, it's kind of cool. Lexi apologized to him, and you see, Lexi's just a piece of shit. I'm sorry, but she's a piece of shit, and she's like, "Yo, I apologize. You should apologize. So you should give me Chucky." But then you realize that she just loves her sister, and she want to make her sister happy. So she does treat Jake like shit, but she does treat her sister okay, and she does treat Junior good. Well, no, not really, because she's also cheating. When he does the show, he says, "Oh, Lexi couldn't have a crush on Oliver too, right?" We got a party. Chucky kills a lot of people in that party, and it's super sweet because Chucky does really kill a lot of people. He burned the house. He killed Oliver. He burns a lot of shit, right? And Devon we learn that Devon It's the first thing that Devon cares about Jake, trying to prove that Jake is innocent because you know that his mom, trying to saying that, yo, maybe you know what, maybe your friend, maybe your boyfriend Jake is a killer. Devon's like, no, I'm gonna prove that he's innocent. So it's kind of cool that Devon had his back like that. Number 4. We're gonna take a little break and I'll be right back.